Hi, my name's Jordan Nelson. This is my Writing 150 project, and this is Monica Jones. And if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Monica Jones, an English teacher at Waverly High School.
All right, so I just have a few questions for you. The first one is, what inspired you most to become a teacher?
I would have to say that my desire to become a teacher began when I was in high school, actually here at this high school. And many of my teachers were very influential. When I was younger, I wanted to, when we played school in the neighborhood and whatnot, I was always the teacher then. But
my next question would be, what was your biggest challenge while trying to become a teacher?
So I completed their program. It's a 5-year program. I completed that in 3 years. I had to get an override from the dean to do so. So that in itself was challenging. And then I would have to say, though, throughout the whole course of the becoming a teacher, I was very fortunate because when I began interviewing, I was hired in 4 different places right away. So I didn't have to really, job search very often for very long. But the whole application process, making resumes and cover letters and making them specific to different areas. And I would also say that the teacher certification exam was kind of difficult because if you're a secondary teacher, you have to take tests in both your major and your minor.
Gotcha.
So my minor, I didn't take as many classes, but yet I still had to take the major exam for it. So that was kind of difficult.
What's your favorite thing about teaching overall?
When you see that, when I see the light bulb, when I see those moments, those I get it moments, when I know that I'm teaching a difficult concept, or we've had like I have to go back and maybe reteach something that I noticed that the majority of my class misunderstood on an exam or something like that, and then we actually finally get it. Every day is rewarding. There's not a day that I dread coming to work, but sometimes it's just having a student, like yourself, come back and talk to you about how you impacted their lives and things like that.
And what was your least favorite thing about teaching? Or what is your least favorite thing about teaching?
I would have to say I had a transition from middle school to high school, so I worked both. So I taught students that I had in middle school, and some of them I had for 3 and 4 times because I had them 7th grade, 8th grade, freshman year, junior year, so on and so forth. And it was kind of disheartening seeing them go from these young, impressionable, childlike beings to this hormonal, depressed, apathetic, not all, but some. So that was difficult. That and possibly the lack of parental involvement hurts because, these kids have so much potential, but there's also only so much that can be done within the constraints of the school. So.
What appealed to you most about secondary education?
I think the writing aspect of it. I never once ever wanted to be an elementary teacher. My teaching style is more of like a very controlled, maintained environment. So with little kids, I don't have the patience for the red light, green light, clap the hands.
How competitive would you say teaching is?
My closest ones, it took them 2 and 3 years to get a job. So it's been very competitive for a long time, especially in Michigan, because we're one of the highest paid states in the United States when you consider the cost of living and teacher salary. So a lot of my friends actually had to go to other states like North Carolina and Florida where the demand is a little bit higher, but it just depends on what happens. Does somebody retire at the last minute, or does somebody decide to take a job elsewhere at the last minute? And then especially for secondary ed, it's all about what you're highly qualified to teach.
Right.
So they may need a physics/geometry teacher together. They may be looking for an English teacher and a football coach. It just depends on really what you're qualified to teach. And you might have to start as maybe part-time or teaching your minor. Or
what would you say you could do as an education student to make yourself more competitive when you're ready to go get a job?
So you definitely want to be marketable. And I would suggest for anybody, especially in the state of Michigan, to major in the field of major or minor with a math, science, or special education.
Well, thank you for your time. That was very informative.